Hello and welcome to the Local Spotlight Show here at WJBM Studios in Jerseyville, Illinois, the voice of the Tri-Counties. I am Chris Lorton. I am your host, and today I have with me Mayor Kevin Stork. Welcome, Mayor.
Thanks, Chris. Good to be here.
Yes, glad to have you. And let's see, you've been mayor for how many years now? A couple?
Yeah, a couple years into the term, yeah.
And your dad was a councilman?
He did, yeah. He was commissioner of streets for 20 years. Yeah, I think he stepped away 2000, around there.
Yeah. Is he the one that suggested that you go and get into politics?
I don't know. Maybe people talking to him might have then talked to me. But yeah, he might have been the conduit that started it for sure. Yeah.
Now you've been grew up here.
Yep, born and raised in Jerseyville. Yes, sir.
And you graduated from Calhoun or Jersey High School?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yes.
Not like unless
Yeah.
you're having a flashback. No,
Yes,
yeah.
a little flash. And then what school did you go to out of high school?
Out of high school, I was at SIUE for a couple years there. I did Air Force ROTC and thought I was going to do mass communications and computers. And then after 2 years there, I transitioned and started applying to therapy schools.
I see.
And so while I was applying, it was when therapy was very popular. So a lot of schools had waiting lists, trying to transfer in credits and everything. So I ended up going to community college, became an EMT, did that.
Really?
Yeah. And then I worked as a rehab aide for a therapy company. And then while I was working in that therapy company, I had two therapists I became friends with. They were a married couple from England and one was from Scotland. And as I was applying, they're like, you should apply to schools over in England. And they have what they call mature student entry, where they take into account everything you've done with your life and then, what kind of education you had up to that point. So long story short, I applied over there and got accepted to some schools over there and ended up going to therapy school over in Derby, over in England.
Hey, how was that?
That was cool. It was good.
Yeah.
It was a neat experience. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. What's the big takeaway going to Derby versus America?
Yeah. I don't know. Me in general, the country. Well, if you look at just the education piece, I feel like there is something we can learn from how they set up their educational system over there. For example, when I applied to school, it's one application. You apply and you list the schools you want your application to go to, and you list the degree that you're applying for, right? And then you send it out to all those schools. They reply to you via this one company, and then whatever schools want to interview you, you go through the interview process, and it's a lot simpler. You're paying one application fee, and it just goes out to all the different schools. And then their education system is a little different because about halfway through high school, compared to us, they take what they call A-levels, and they take these tests, and that from those tests, they kind of determine whether you're college bound or whether you're trade bound. And then from that point on, your education focuses in that direction.
I had Johnny, I call him Johnny English, had him in there, and he said he was talking that in England, when he was growing up, you start looking at your trade early, what you were going to do at it, and you were just kind of like zero in on it.
It's like your freshman, sophomore year,
Yeah. And with us here in America, bounce around a lot.
Yeah.
You go and then you change your mind.
Yeah. That's one, coming back to that, I participated at the junior high this year. They have the career day. So you're out there and they invite, I was there representing the city as, the job was mayor for that I was talking about. But they had all out there for that. So junior high is what, 5th, 6th, and 7th grade out there?
I think so.
So all those kids got to participate and listen to all different types of careers, and it was interesting. They were asking tons of questions. And the one thing in that scenario that I was trying to drive home with them is, just listen to everybody. You guys don't have to pick anything. But at the end of my talk with each group, I said, does anybody have any idea what they want to do? And what I loved about it was, kids raise their hand and they say, I'm going to be this when I grow up, and then we go around the room. And by the time we get to the last kid, the first kid has his hand back up and says, I want to change what I want to do, and that's kind of the message of the whole thing is like, be thinking about it, but be open.
Yeah. Jenna, she went to SIU Carbondale. And I think she was having too good a time down there because she kept switching majors. And finally, she goes, I think I'm going. No, you are not. You're getting a degree and you're getting out of there. And that's it, Yeah. So now you are married to Michelle.
Michelle, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when you guys, how long you been married?
We got married in 96, so we're coming up to quite a few years.
Yes. Yes.
Gonna make me do math. But yeah. Yeah, we got married June of 96.
Yes. One thing that I always have admired about you and Michelle is your two children, and I knew Ronan very well, but
right.
both of them, go into the Naval Academy.
They did, yes, sir.
I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. I'm impressed by him. Yeah, I'm proud of him.
Yeah. And what do you attribute that to?
Their mom, mainly, because she's smart. But I'd say I would attribute it to my family as a whole. I think, like, we talked about me going to England for school, and how that transpired was Michelle and I got married in 1996. I got accepted to a school in England. We moved as a newly married couple to England. Yeah. And I went to school, and she worked over there as a speech language pathologist within the national healthcare system in England. So by the time I graduated and we were moving back in 1999, she was pregnant with Keely at the time. So that's when we made that decision, where are we going to settle? And we chose to come back to Jerseyville because we had family in Springfield, Missouri also. I mean, that would have been an option. That's where she was from. But we chose Jerseyville to come back and raise our kids. And partly because we had a good, strong, family base here. So we, going back to that with my kids, I attribute a lot of their success as a solid foundation. And that was from my mom. My mom worked at Holy Ghost St. Francis as a kindergarten aide. And then once she started having her grandkids, she couldn't take it not being involved anymore. So she left there and became the babysitter for the kids. But it wasn't just babysitting with my mom. It was, we called it grandma school. So
schooling them.
Oh, yeah. By the time they started, every grandkid started kindergarten, they were reading, writing. They were ahead of the curve by leaps and bounds. So, So they got a love for education. They got a love for being challenged, I should say, and continuing to do so. Yeah.
Well, when I was coaching at St. Francis, 7th and 8th grade, Ronan was one of my players. And he wasn't necessarily, the fastest or the strong. I mean, he was strong, but he was so smart. He was a mechanic. When I'd be teaching different things, he would get it down, and a lot of times I'd say, "Come here, Ronan, show him what I'm talking about."
Break this down.
He could. He was good, very good at learning, and applying it. So thanks to Grandma.
Yeah, it is. It really. I mean, it's that foundation. But yes, I mean, Michelle and I were not authoritarians by any means, but we set boundaries, set rules.
Yeah,
I think that's key.
So City Jerseyville. Been there a couple years. Got some things going on.
Yeah, we do. Well, I mean, I've been there more than a couple of years. I did two terms as accounts and finance. But mayor's a couple of years. Yeah, so, leading the ship. Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple of years.
How many years did you spend as a councilman?
I was a total of 8 years as accounts and finance. So
that's I know the pay is really good.
It is. Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm kidding.
You're good.
It's like maybe a quarter an hour. I don't know, something like that.
When you go back, that's one of the things when I was talking to the junior high kids about my career. They're like, "Oh, how much does it pay?" And I was like, "I'll be honest with you." And I told them what it was. What I get paid every 2 weeks, and what it comes out to a year. And they're like, "That's it?" And I was like, "Well, yes, for the size of Jerseyville, that's it. But if you want to be mayor, you can be mayor of St. Louis. You can make all kinds of money. But but in Jerseyville, that's all it is." So.
Yes, but it's rewarding.
It is. Yeah, it's giving back to a community. What's
the most rewarding thing about being mayor for you?
I just think making a decision that that tries to help shape Jerseyville in the best possible image for people. So, prior to you starting recording, we talked about, Jerseyville feels safe. It's clean. It's, all these things that hopefully draws people to want to live here. Like the same reason I chose to come back here and raise my family. That's the things that I want to, make sure that's behind every decision I make, is that going to keep that true?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it seems to be happening.
I mean,
I've been here for 40 years.
Yeah.
So
you've invested in the community a little bit. Yeah,
I've been invested. Yeah. I love the community. Yeah. So we got some things going on. We just talked about the splash pad.
Yeah.
Was that your idea?
It was not my idea. It was probably Tyler. I'll give Tyler Herman's credit for that. He has a vision for that park and rec department. He's always thinking of different things to.
Tyler, huh?
Yeah.
Tyler, all Tyler's idea. Yeah, that's great.
I'll blame it on him. How about that?
Yeah. So basically, a quick rundown on the splash pad, what it actually is going to be.
Yeah, it's so for us. I mean, from a funding standpoint, we got grants from Illinois American Water, and then we got grants from IDNR for the splash pad. So the majority of it's covered by those grants. As a city, we're upfronting the cost on that, but we get a lot of that grant money back. So from a funding point of view, it was a good decision for us. It's a draw to the city. Hopefully people from outside the community will come to Jerseyville and utilize the splash pad also, but it's just another thing for people in our community to do.
But it's kind of geared toward little kids.
It is.
Yeah.
And
they can't drown in it.
They
right?
can't, right.
And it's got a rubber.
Yeah, we got a special.
So you can't hurt your head. And
correct.
Things like that.
We paid for a special flooring that's going to go down. So we've learned from other communities. Splash pads really kind of taken off within the last 5 years, and some other communities close to us have put a splash pad out or built one, and some had concrete that they had non-slip on, but it was still concrete, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
can't do that.
No, kids were getting injured.
Yeah.
So then they retrofitted stuff that we are installing from the get-go. So yeah, it's going to be fun. If you get a chance, I think we're going to be trying to do some aerial views of it. But the whole splash pad is in the shape of Jersey County from
yes,
above.
I did hear that. Yeah, that's
and then
cool.
the theme is pretty much our community, which is farming. So there's a tractor out there. There's corn stalks, wheat stalks, things like that. So
I see.
It's
nice.
Jersey County themed.
Yes.
Through and through.
Hey, if you're just joining us, I have Mayor Kevin Stork with us of Jerseyville, talking about a few things going on in Jerseyville. Hey, speaking of financing, I'm going to ask you this question. Mm-hmm. Okay, and you can kind of explain it, set the story straight.
Yeah.
Okay, so a few years ago, we sold our water plant, for $40 million or something?
Yes.
Okay, so what happened to that money? Where does it go? What's it do? You're not just spinning it left and right, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Just kind of explain
initially,
what goes on.
A large portion of it was spent to pay off debt when we built a brand new sewer plant out there, out there past the hospital.
Is that why it got sold? To pay that off?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
I mean, that was all bonded out for that construction. No, what it was coming to was we had to make improvements to the infrastructure, that we needed to make improvements to the water treatment plant to make the water. And when you started, breaking down those costs, and historically looking back, I'll take a step back. When I first got elected to accounts and finance, I walked in the door, and the theme was, hey, we're tight on money on paying bills. So I initially started looking at, how can we increase that revenue of water? And we did. If anybody recalls, internally we debated raising the rates. I wanted to raise it on the minimum, and we settled on raising the rates on anything over the minimum because there was concern about, impacting people on a fixed income. Mm-hmm. If you raise the minimum, that's going to impact them. So we raised it on anything over the minimum. Well, we calculated numbers, but we didn't see that return on that decision because people just didn't use as much water, right? If you know it's going to cost me more if I use over this number, what are you going to not do? You're just not going to use that much. Right. And that's what it was. So we didn't see the money coming in that we were hoping to in that scenario. So we were never really able to save the money we thought we were going to save. Everything we gained was going into just operational and maintenance, and nothing was being set aside to be able to do the improvements that were needed. So, and then historically, when you look back at the water rates, I think it's tough to increase that on your friends and family, right? When you're sitting in this seat, when you're an elected official in Jerseyville, you're making decisions that impact your loved ones. And it's very hard to do sometimes when you got to, change that dollar amount. And that's what that kind of really came down to. So
is let someone else do it.
Well, not so much. I mean, I don't mind making.
Okay, go ahead.
I mean, I guess I don't mind making the decision, Chris. It's just more of if I wasn't in the seat, then the next council, are they going to make that same decision to increase the rate? Will it stop after I do it? And then we're in the same position we're in at that time, Yep. So, because it sat stagnant for more than 20 years where the rate never changed, So when we should have probably been doing some inflationary adjustments annually, it wasn't happening. So we didn't have that reserve to do all these improvements. So,
So you pay off some debt, and then you have a few extra million, right?
yes,
And
yeah,
and then do you invest that? Is that
we
invested?
did. Yeah, we as a council passed resolution that we can't go below the $20 million unless we have a majority vote. And then when we do that, we can only go below the $20 million if we know we have a revenue stream to pay it back. So, for example, with the library addition, they got funding up to a certain point, but they needed a loan, right? And, their finances are just as tight as the city's. So, we help them out by giving them a zero interest loan, but they pay us back $80,000 a year on that money. So we agreed to go below that $20 million to give them that money to finish that project.
And it helps the city.
Correct. And it helps the residents and helps people even outside of Jerseyville.
And it is beautiful.
Yeah, it
really
was very
turned
nice.
out nice.
Yeah.
And I know I was on Hollow Street the other day for the first time. I avoided Hollow Street forever because it was always blocked off. But I was out there and I was like, well, this is nice, know. And
it's about to be blocked off again, Chris.
Yes. Yeah. Dang, it was almost there.
Almost, yeah.
So when's that start up again?
Phase 2 should be happening here mid to late summer. Yeah, we have everything in place. We got about $900,000 funding from the federal government. That was before. He was our representative. I'm drawing a complete blank.
That's right.
But before he left office, we got $900,000 from him.
Yeah.
And that was for this project. So that's phase 2. So it'll be from where Hickory comes into Hollow there, where obviously the road stopped. And then we're going to extend out to the city limits, which is Wagner Street. Okay. Right there where that new subdivision kind of wise off there.
Yeah. What's really nice about that, too, is that big sidewalk all the way down it, which is nice. That was kind of dangerous.
Yeah.
Going down that road, especially kids on bicycles.
Correct.
Or even driving it.
Right. And there's a lot of activity there with golf carts and different things. So,
high traffic area. Hey, just let's touch on this thing that you're doing, that you've done, called TextMyGov. Yeah. What's that about?
That was something we vetted as a city council to try and get a good communication with our residents, right? So it's a two-way communication to where if you can sign up, you can go to our website and you can text the word Jerseyville to that number that's on our website. And what that does is it registers you with us, so your number's listed. So if we ever have any announcements that we want to text out, and for example, in the past, we've given notifications and reminders about the Rock the Block concerts coming up, or if we were going to be closing a street for a water line break, or we're closing a street because we're cutting down trees, whatever notification there is, then we can send that out.
Or a boil order.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything.
Power outage, I think we did. There was somebody that had an accident here, not just up the road from you here at WJBM, and it shut down power to a lot of areas.
We got shut down.
Oh, did you guys? Were impacted? Okay, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So, it helped us to where
get the message out.
Yeah, we put the message out, and then people could respond back if they needed anything. I think we ended up helping an elderly lady that lost power and needed some assistance, so she could communicate.
So somebody, they text Jerseyville and then the number 91896.
Yes, sir.
And then they're in the system.
They're in the system.
Yep. And then they can, if they see something going on, they can text the city.
If there's a pothole, they can text it to us, and then they can put as much information in there as they want, like it's at this street address, so there's a pothole, and then that will help us then create a work order that goes out, and our guys know to fix it. If somebody's lawn's not getting mowed and you want to bring it to our attention, anything you want to bring to the city's attention, you text it to us, and then we will disseminate it to the right departments, and we'll go from there.
So we got coming up, in fact, it's tonight, Rock the Block. Rock the Block.
No, it's the 30th. The 30th.
That's it. That's when this is. Today's the 30th.
Oh.
This is pre-recorded, but on the 30th, we got
this radio stuff is new to me, Chris.
Yeah, so Rock the Block.
Yeah.
We got Maddie Shell
and
her band.
Yeah, hometown
and that's
favorite.
Going to be fun. We're excited. It's in the city center.
Yeah.
That's been a great spot, putting it in that city center spot.
Yeah, that's
been fun.
The intent, we just want to
like
help.
The fairgrounds. It's so fun.
Yeah, we want to draw people to that downtown district.
Yeah, people are bouncing around in and out of the different restaurants and bars and out on the street.
Yep.
And we're going to have some vendors selling food.
We do. Yeah, we encourage everybody that currently is, kind of touches that area. And then even if they don't, I know we have a lot of businesses that are in the downtown district. They'll come up and set up a remote spot too there with, within that concert area. We try and spread those around too from each side of town.
You do. Although I think that's the best spot.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, I mean,
on the record.
It just seems like it's
just more centralized. I agree with you.
Well, it seems more like a fair atmosphere.
Right.
It's easy. It's all, you're not walking. I don't know. It just seems better, closer to the other establishments.
Gotcha.
And so City Hall, you guys meet every other Tuesday.
We do. Yeah, our council meetings are every other Tuesday. You're more than welcome to attend.
Anybody I can attend?
I've seen you once or twice, Chris. Yes, yeah. You're allowed. Yeah.
Okay. So anybody's able to attend.
Yes, sir.
If they want to get something on the agenda, they got to call ahead or come in ahead
Correct.
of time.
Yeah. If you do want to be on the agenda, we can. You can call ahead and talk to City Clerk Denise Hayes, and we can get you on the agenda. If not, we, as every meeting is, we have a public comment section, and everybody gets 3 minutes to come up and speak their piece, and if there's something you want to let us know.
You're lucky my mom doesn't show up. There's no way she can get by with 3 minutes.
That's why we had to put 3 minutes on it, because there are people that wouldn't be able to get by with just 3 minutes.
3 minutes, no way.
Yeah.
Well, Kevin, it's been so fun having you in today.
Yeah, appreciate
anything you want to throw out there?
No.
Any words of wisdom to your constituents?
No words of wisdom. Just know that as a city, we're working to make Jerseyville better. And if you ever need anything from us, I'm always up at City Hall every Friday. I try to have hours up there. So if you need to talk to me directly, I'm available. But sign up for TextMyGov, communicate with us, let us know how we can make Jerseyville better for everyone. So,
well, thanks so much for coming in.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
Thanks.
See you at Rock the Block.
See you at Rock the Block tonight.
Yes.
The 30th.